Hello. It's Lulu. What? Okay. It's Lulu, and today I'm going to do your pep talk. Okay. I've been up for quite some time, but for some reason I'm still in that space, that in between space when you wake up. Okay, so it's gonna be good. That's how I feel about it. Whatever. That's how I feel about it. So we're going to do an overview of what some of you may be going through. I know that there's some very strong energies moving about, nothing new to see here. Okay, some very strong energies that are running amok, but also just knowing who you are, where you stand, getting it back in tune with your plan, right? It's going to be very important. That's just overall, right? But all these planets doing what they want to, all of these events and all these things that are happening, you may even notice certain things that are happening even in your space, your inner space, right? That maybe it's some things that you haven't dealt with in a while, or some things that may be brought to your attention for you to deal with at this time. Again, one of the, and it's not an advertisement. It's not an advertisement, but I strongly suggest getting the Pattern app, right? Also, any other apps that you would are drawn to, right? Because I can recommend something, but you may not, it may not be your jam, right? But I do strongly recommend getting that app. All right, because it just helps you with where you are going, what may be going on. It won't, like, when you get the readings, when you get these intuitive nudges, when you get information from apps and stuff like that, reading your birth chart or what have you, it's important to remember that there are small nuances. There are certain things that it won't make sense until it makes sense. Like if I read for you and say something that, it's like, I kind of see where that's coming from, but I don't really, you just have to keep living, right? And wait it out. It's the same thing with any of the apps, or when you even look into your chart, where you feel like you know exactly what's going on, but there's so many other things to unearth about what is really going on. This camera is moving again, ain't it? Guys. All right, so I just wanted to say that's my quick spiel to get my gears grinding. I did split the deck up because the deck is big, because it's like 2 decks. Okay, all right. So what did you have for whoever has come into attendance, joined us here today? Really quick, remember that any information that you need is in the description box. I do indie reads on Patreon for now. We'll see where that goes from here. Also, the 90-day journey to mindfulness is available on my website as well as patreon.com. A lot of exciting news to come that will be shared over the course of the next few months. I did share a video that someone shared with me. There is a Sri Master. I forget his name because it was shared with me, and I don't usually remember. We ain't going to go into all that. Okay, because there are certain things I just don't remember. But I shared the video of the guy who said that between September 10th and September 25th, that it's going to be very important that you do charitable work. It's going to be very important that you pull back, step out of the crowd. I don't think he said that, but that's how I was already feeling, because I shared something last week before the video was shared with me about some of the some similar things. That's how you know when you're in alignment, right? Because a number of us will, everyone is in a different set of course of action, right? And so everyone collectively have groups or pods that they are connected to in certain ways, right? And run in certain plays. So what he said was something to the extent of charitable work, right? Pulling back, not getting caught up in the fussing, the fighting, the heavy energies that are coming through. There's a lot of elevated forces, of course, right? I don't remember what videos I was talking about that in, but you can already see that, right? You can already see that, like, there's a lot going on. You can just, someone's probably texting you, calling you. There's just a lot going on out here. And in order for you to be an observer of what is going on, instead of getting caught up entirely in what is going on, whether it's your family, your friends, people who are at a distance from you, which means all of us here, we're at a distance from you, right? And you see us, what's going on social media or what have you. It's very important to remember like where you stand in the midst of everything that is going on, because if you lose yourself, then you're not going to be of help to others. So you got to stand on where you are. So what we do, we stand on our 10. Because there's no way that nothing is happening at no times. There's no way that nothing is happening in this world to the point where we're not affected in some type of way, right? So even if you've been in your bubble, you don't have a lot of people that are close to you or next to you. What other people do can have an effect on you. Simple as that, right? Look at your toothpaste. When you read your toothpaste, it says do not swallow. Apparently somebody swallowed it and some shit happened. Okay, and so now that affects you. Something that probably happened 100 years ago affects you here today. So I hope that makes sense. Whatever. Right? There was something else I wanted to tell y'all too. Can't remember. What do you have for the people that have joined us here today? Fertility, Astara is here. Solace is here. Saying bodies of water. Teacher. And I was out by some water. I need to go back out by some more water myself. Here, Kuan Yin is here. Oh, Cordelia is here. Paul the Venetian is here. Lakshmi is here. Oshun is here. Oh, and we only have one flower today, which is the eucalyptus. I put some in my hair earlier. Okay. Very, very important. We stay in tune with our oils, our herbs, or what have you. Regardless of your pad, there are certain things that you will be drawn to. Materials, certain cloths, certain ways of even wrapping or doing your hair, certain ways of wearing your clothes. Because as you know, when we buy clothing, we don't always wear the clothing the way that they said we're supposed to wear it. Because you're supposed to own it. Okay? Now then, let's get into it. So Astara is here crossing Kuan Yin and the eucalyptus. And what I'm getting from this is that whatever it is that you put off, whatever it is that you may have felt as though it wasn't going to work or it wasn't the right timing, they're saying that if it's come to your mind, whatever the first thing is that comes to your mind, begin with that. Everything will eventually connect and you'll see how they connect or what have you. The camera moving again. Scoot back, I think. All right, so this has to do with some type of idea, some type of project. This has something to do with releasing judgments. Because here's the thing, releasing judgments of yourself and other people has a lot to do with you being able to go out and be a force in this world without any preconceived notions, right? And you want to be mindful of the things that you allow, especially when you are in this fertile stage. Some of you may be getting pregnant. That's just that on that. Okay. Hopefully you won't be like I was. I'm like, you got me pregnant on purpose. Like, okay, you're young and you need to figure it out. You played a part, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm getting here is that compassion is at the center of this. That's what's held in the most weight. If you go and look up the principles of Kuan Yin, it goes along the lines of a number of other beliefs and ways of doing things. So you can go and look that up if she resonates with you, or you can find out what goddess or God or what have you, what scrolls, scriptures, or what have you that go along the lines of this compassion, living in this way, being in this way, but also being very gentle with yourself, nurturing yourself, right? Because you nurture yourself and then you're able to nurture others, filling your cup, especially when it comes to doing these new ideas, because you may have to step out of your element. You may have to step out of your comfort zone. You may have to do things that are unfamiliar to you. You may have to push through and you may not have the assistance that you want. I heard something really, really nice this morning. I was listening to my morning motivation, and one of the motivational speakers said, he was like, it's not that people won't help you. It's that you are appearing or you are in a space where you are not asking for help. They think that you got it covered. So if there is someone that you may want to reach out to someone, or someone may reach out to you right at the right time, and instead of having the same response that you've been having, go ahead and see about an alternative response that may welcome in that help, right? Because all too often people can block their blessings. All too often, people can get in their own way by not opening their mouth to someone who could possibly be of benefit, right? A lot of times pride gets in the way of that, right? And that's what I was going to mention really, really quick. Okay, this is a pep talk, so I don't know what y'all thought this was going to be. Okay, we got the cards out, so y'all gonna be here for a second. That's what I wanted to talk about, because I was saying in the end of the Virgo reading over on Patreon about when this hair, real quick, this hair is heavy. So I noticed in one of the videos, I was like struggling and shit like that when I be trying to get it to go like this or whatever. So that's a whole other thing. I'll take myself out of my comfort zone with this hair, okay? Because I'm just like, okay, that's a strain. But moving forward, I'll be all right, okay? But what I was saying at the end of the Virgo read was that I had been researching or looking over a number of all of the different entanglements or ways that different things connect to other things when it comes to entities and attachments, demons, and all that shit, okay? And what I noticed was that there was like over almost 150 pages in this book, because it's a book I hadn't picked up since I purchased it, because I made an agreement with myself that I would begin back finishing a book a week. So at any rate, that's not a book I finished though. Okay, I picked up what the hell book. Okay, and so what I was looking at with the connections and all of these things, or what have you, the different groupings, the different ways that people can get up and caught up in certain types of they didn't say generational, but that's how I was connecting it with the generational patterns, and how you could be facing or tackling one, but then you have to realize it may be connected to a grouping of a whole other intertwining of energies, right? So this may be the main one, but in order to untangle all of these, you have to do certain things or make certain agreements that you will not go back to, or do certain things, right? It could be a lecture, because all the information that started to pour through on how all of that connects to so many other things. But what I'm saying, okay, let's get to the meat of it. The meat of it is there are no perfect people. They had all of these different, like the smallest things that could blow up and be something greater, that opened you up for so many other things, that can open you up to so many other things. If you continue to, because it took me back to when I was about 11 or 12, when I was like, I want to go live in a covenant, right? A covenant. What do you call it, where the nuns go? I want to be a nun, because I was like, this world is evil. I ain't finna be out here like that. And I was like, how do you be perfect? And how can you possibly live perfect? The only way is to go be a nun. Just get out of the world. Okay? So for those of us, okay, because of course I chose to not go be a nun. But for those of us who are really working on just being better people, and it's going to take some time, and whatever you can do, what you can do, what you is fitting in the space, in the season, in the cycle, right? And what happens is, that helps you with compassion. You have more compassion with yourself because you know what you've dealt with, and you have more compassion with other people because you realize that I've dealt with things, and just because they haven't dealt with what I've dealt with, doesn't mean that I'm any better, or they are any better, or or vice versa. Whatever. It doesn't make one person better than the other one, right? We all came here to experience certain things, and we're all having to challenge and face certain things in order to continue to unravel and untangle what is, right? The easiest way would just be to hand everything over and just really live in a space where we are open and allowing ourselves to be in the moment, so that we can face what needs to be faced in that moment, instead of trying to create lists and create action plans. Because you know what happens, we create plans and then life get to happening. Okay, God get to happening. It's like, oh, you thought that's what was gonna go on, let me show you something, because you missed a step, you missed something, right? Those tower moments are very, very beautiful, because they help us to realize where we built something on faulty ground. We haven't created a vessel that will allow for planting certain seeds, watering those seeds, and allowing them to flourish, continue to nurture them, right? Which is a seed we also plant in ourselves as well. And it's very important throughout the day, or especially in the morning, that you are planting a seed. I also heard one other thing that was very, very beautiful this morning from that because with the motivational speeches sometimes there are like several people that just come in and just be talking back to back, right? You hear them, you hear profound things, and then somebody else comes in and says something profound, because it's like a mix up of different speeches that people have done. So someone else came through and was like, do the 20-20-20 rule. The 20-20-20 rule is you wake up, he said at 5. Now, sometimes I do have to get up very early like that. It's not going to be every day. I don't see that happening. Okay. But he was like, get up at 5:30, do something, get moving for 20 minutes. I believe that's what he said. Get moving for 20 minutes. And then the second 20 minutes, you write down, you journal. Yeah, that's what he said. Work out. Get to moving, get your body moving and all of that. I feel like you need to, before your feet touch the ground, you meditate. But at any rate, this may help someone. So he said 20 minutes, get up and get to moving. Then you do 20 minutes of journaling, right? About your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your fears, whatever it is that comes to mind. Even if you don't have anything to write about, just start writing something. Okay, like I am a tree, I will plant a seed. I don't know. And then the other 20 minutes, he said that's what you, 20 minutes to work out, 20 minutes to journal, and then what was the other 20 minutes? I think it was go ahead, 20 minutes to like, that may be the meditation. I can't even remember now because I got so caught up in the first two. Exercise, journal, and then read something. Because you also know that it's important that whatever your niche is, right, what you came here to do is your niche. Because only you know how to do what you came here to do and how to do it. And you are the only person that can receive instructions on your mission. These are divine instructions. Like I could read for you and confirm some things, or give some information about nudges or what have you, and what it is that may need to get you back on track or something like that. But when it comes to divine instructions, when it comes to what it is that you were supposed to do and how only you were supposed to do it because you were born with it, it's rooted deeply in your DNA, that ain't my business. I don't get in folks' business like that. Okay? So that was it. 20 minutes of get it moving, get the solar plexus popping. 20 minutes of writing out, which also gets the mind going. Where is the mind going? Okay? And where are you growing, right? Or where do you want to grow, right? And then read. Only way you're going to be an expert in what it is that you do, or continue to be motivated, because you got to remember really, really quick, y'all. It's important to remember that not even if you don't read like I do, I listen to motivational speeches and stuff like that too, right? But even if you don't read something that has to do with your niche, it's important to read something, because in this day and age, having intellectual conversations, having conversations that's not talking about people and fucked up events and all that, like, no. Having conversations that open up new neural pathways, get your neurons really fired up, and have you to look at some things different that you may not have even gave any thought to in your life. It is so important to read. I don't care if you read a romance novel. It'll have you look at love and relationships differently, but not to be in a fantasy world. All right, let's get to it. So we got fertility, bodies of water, and teacher. And this is Mahakoin. Okay. Rogoski. Hope I said that right. If I didn't, but this is a teacher, an ascended master. Some of you may even be go into a space where you go out near some water. You get some type of epiphanies, revelations. There may be a lot of crying. There may be a lot of releasing. Okay. I just made an appointment for my cranial sacral for this year because you want to release. There may be some things that are repressed or caught up in your body, or in the astral, or in however you look at it. Something is caught up, right? It's keeping the water from flowing, right? The water in our bodies have to flow, right? We have to have a certain type of balance, right? What type of, maybe you need to go to a lake, a river, or ocean. I don't know what it is. Maybe even you need to just take a spiritual break, spiritual bath, and do a whole to-do about it, because there's something that needs to come to the forefront of your awareness, your conscious awareness, that you really need to release and let go of. It's time for you to expel certain things here. With what you are releasing, be mindful of also rejuvenating with more water. Okay, especially if you get into this space where you have this creative influx, you get into this space where you are aware of certain things that are happening and it's time for certain things to happen. You're going to want, because the nervous system with us is very, very vital. We have to have a healthy connection and approach to the electricity that or the energy, our energy, right? Our nervous system is so vital to how we move around, how we make things happen, how we receive information, and how we create boundaries and set ourselves apart, like an emperor, the emperor card, right? We set ourselves apart. We create strong boundaries, but we also keep a game face on, right? And we don't allow ourselves to be our privacy, our space, our energetic field to be violated in a way that we are holding judgments against people that will only cause for us to again go back, be entangled in a whole other level of be entangled with certain entities, attachments, or what have you, that will continue to pull us back, pull us into a space where we know that we do not belong. We do not belong in a space that will halt us, unless it's a divine intervention that halts us. But overall, you don't want to halt yourself, bring yourself to a complete stop when it comes to judging certain situations or people and creating bitterness, regret, remorse. All of those can be connected to one another, and this can be 3 different entities or attachments that are connected to one another that you begin to allow to feast on you and your energy. So you want to cleanse here. Go outside is here with Cordelia. Going outside is very important. Getting grounded, getting some fresh air, whatever the fuck that is these days. Okay. Once you look into a number of things, once you begin to see the unseen and all of these things that are supposedly hidden, usually it's hidden right in our face. We just didn't see it. We just didn't look. We didn't look with our eye, right? Or we were moving so fast that we were not allowing ourselves to be in the moment so that we could see certain things, right? So of course now it's all out of hand. Okay. So you go outside and you get in tune with nature, get grounded, take in the scenery, right? Maybe even read, like, when is the last time you read something outside? When is the last time you sat up under your favorite tree or some tree and just relaxed, took a blanket and just relaxed under that tree? Really put your back up against that tree with your feet firmly placed on the ground, doing chants, mantras, affirmations, just really having a conversation with the universe outside. Okay, whatever. Some of you need to get back to painting, get back to writing, get back to your music, get back to your poetry. It's so important, especially if these things, like your artistic expression, has been halted by life and things that have been going on, or you haven't been feeling very creative. Just start doodling, bitch. Okay. Bright future. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be okay. And that's crossing Kuan Yin. So Lakshmi is crossing Kuan Yin. They are both letting you know, with this teacher card as well, they are both letting you know that everything is going to be okay. It's just that maybe near the last crescent moon we had, maybe that's when you began to pull back and you just went into hermit mode, or you went into not really getting out and about. Go to a soccer game, a football game, go, but not necessarily at a stadium. Okay, those kid games are some of the best games to go to. Number one, you got to walk out to the field, okay, and then you have to pop out your chair. Okay, and you're sitting there with your feet on the ground. It's very grounding. It's a lot of joy, cheer, maybe a few fights. We don't know, honey. Okay, be careful. But that may be a good idea. Like I've suggested before, going to the park and just listening to the birds sing, or just listening to the cars pass by, listening to everything that is happening all at once. Life is happening. This reminds you that no matter what you do, life is still going to be happening. No matter where you are, life is still happening. If children are playing, please just go and read a book where children are playing. It will change your life. Okay. They say they want you to open your arms to receiving all the good that is provided for you by the universe with this eucalyptus. All the help that you prayed for is coming, but they needed you to step out. They needed you to release something in order to bring in something new. They needed you to view things differently before moving forward. What do you have here for whatever it is that you want to clarify, sweetheart? The Ace of Cups. This is a brand new beginning. This is an offer of help. You've asked for it and the help is coming, right? This could easily be a message that you are waiting. Maybe you're waiting to hear an apology, but this is heartfelt. This has to do with the renewal and rejuvenation of your kettle. Oh yeah, we're gonna call it a kettle. Y'all know I don't be remembering all this stuff, but we're gonna call it a kettle. This is a kettle, and the water that is in it had become stale. The water that was in it hadn't been used. Right? It hadn't created or brewed. And now you've emptied it out and refilled the kettle, and you're refilling it with this new sense of purpose, this new sense of ideas, and what everything could be out in the universe here, or what you can bring or to serve others. Just feeling good about how far you've come. You see, what information do you want to clarify with us here today? The Knight of Pentacles. This is slow progression. This is slow movement. This is also taking your time out to pay attention to the minute details. Okay, a King of Pentacles doesn't become a King of Pentacles overnight. This is someone very strategic. This is someone that pays attention to detail. This is a marksman. This is someone who can feel when he is grounded. He can feel the difference. He can feel the vibration of the oncoming traffic, the oncoming army, the oncoming foot soldiers. He can feel it, and he can sense in the earth. He's deeply rooted. He can sense in the earth, and he's in tune with many of the elements because he's so grounded. He knows when it's time to make a move and when it is not. He has he's been working, okay, on his home, his body. He's been working on producing, but producing in measured steps, right? So now he's in this space, or she, because it is a girl, okay? So now he is seeing he's a visionary. What type of work, what is the footwork that I have to do? How do I, which direction do I move? If I feel them coming from this way, or if I feel, it doesn't have to necessarily be opposing forces, but it can just be that maybe it's a job that you were going up for, or a bid that you were doing with construction or contracting work, and you are realizing that, okay, I can't move in this way because you looked or researched what is going on in your field at this time. So you can't move a certain way because you're so grounded, so practical, looking at the details, reading papers, messages, information. You receive some type of tip or what have you. What information do you have for these beautiful people that's listening to me run my mouth for 30 minutes? Ace of Pentacles, you got two aces, Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So this is a new idea. This is you taking that seed and planting it. This is an offer that is handed to you because you relinquish control. You surrender to some part of your process that will allow you to grow. Some part of your process that was holding you back or hindering you. And now you are fertile. You're fertile with ideas. You're probably actually fertile. Maybe you're ovulating. This is a perfect time for you to make some shit happen, okay? If you're ovulating, that's your illumination period. That's when you are really glowing and growing. That's when you are charismatic and drawing so much attention to you, and things are just happening for you. You get this space every month. Every 25, 26, 28. I don't know your cycle. Even if you are a man, you will notice that you go through this as well. Especially very intuitive men who are strongly connected to the moon and the tides and shit like that, okay? Because the moon and the water is all that, okay? Yes, okay. Because y'all know I could talk all day if I needed to. What information do you have for these people, Chad? The Tower and Judgment. Something that's come to your awareness, okay? That either you make a choice or a choice will be made for you. This is a sounding off. This is confirmation that things are about to get even more crazier, right? And in your world, like I said, you are the observer, okay? It's important. What is that? The Toltec? I think it's in Toltec where they call the thinking part the thinking, overthinking, and not being in the moment. That's your interpreter. And this is a time where you're pulling back to realize, having more awareness of what is going on. Awareness and logic are separate, but they need one another, right? Because that intuition, or just the information that pours through, right? Because so many over here in this house are gifted, right? Receive a lot of information for themselves and others. So something is happening here to save the day. I feel that's what I'm getting from that, from the way that the mermaid is blowing the horn this way, and the tower is crumbling behind the mermaid. So there are some things that the decision that you make to move with compassion, right? The decision that you make is going to bring in these blessings. The choice that you make is going to provide for some more actionable steps. It's still going to be in connection with how you were doing things in the first place. It's just some added measures, some added techniques, some added information, some additional information. Someone may be seeking your help or trying to reach out to you here. But what I'm seeing is, if you have a group of friends or just around certain people and doing certain things, I really feel like you're in a space where you realize you can't save everybody. Look. Out of all these people, there are 2 people who are waking up to the call. The rest of them are still in the bubble. People that are feeling sorry for themselves, woe is me, or what have you, wherever they are in their life, right? Because we've all been there. So they're in this bubble, they're woe is me, and this is a judgment call. In order to keep from being destroyed, distracted, or redacted, whatever. Certain people are waking up to the call. And there are some people that are not. And that's how it happens every cycle. It happens every day, actually, because like I said, there are different collectives, different parts of the collective, different pods, and all of that, right? So what I really get here is that there's 1, 2, there's 3 people rising from this might be people that are depressed and stuff. But overall, what I'm getting with this is that you are one of those. So go ahead and do what you came here to do in this space, okay? Remember that Rome was not built in a day. The motherfucking Great Wall of China surely wasn't. The pyramids definitely weren't. Well, we don't know the whole story. Definitely weren't, right? Stonehenge definitely wasn't, okay? Did they ever find out who did that to the stones in Georgia? Did they find it out? What ain't they in Georgia? At any rate, that's your pep talk. Okay? Bye.